apologize for the poor organization skills that go against what Coach Wells just talked about. But before I get started, I would like for you to join me in congratulating the NAIA National Coach of the Year for their record 7th time, Ray Wells. Thank you, Coach, for the nice introduction. I thought you stuck to the script, but I didn't ask you to give my speech. I would like to start out apologizing for not making the ceremony at halftime of the men's basketball game in the gym. We had planned on being here much sooner, but circumstances beyond our control prevented that from happening. But I am grateful to God we made it rather later than not at all. I know some of you have had a long day and even a long afternoon, so I'll try my best to be quick. I thank you all for coming tonight, especially those of you who are my guests. I thank you. I thank everyone who had anything to do with this event. Didn't they do a wonderful job? Like you heard, I was back in my native Cameroon when I received a humbling call from the very same person who used to call me 14 years ago when Lindsey was still trying to recruit me. Unlike 14 years ago, when I could barely speak or understand English, in case you're wondering why, I'll let you figure that out later. But anyway, unlike 14 years ago, this time around I could clearly understand what Willis was trying to say. I had not spoken to Willis for a couple of weeks, although he knew I would be in Cameroon then. So first, I thought he was calling to wish me happy holidays, since my family and I were not going to be traveling to Kentucky this time around, as it had been the case the past few Christmas holidays. I was speechless when Willis told me I was one of this year's Hall of Fame inductees. The news came at a time I was frustrated because I had been in Cameroon for several days and my bags had not yet arrived. My spirit literally did a 360 as I went from thinking about the next airline representatives I would call to give a piece of my mind to thinking about the kind of journey I had had at Lindsey Wilson, and also thinking about there's so many people that made such a journey unforgettable. Through classroom experiences and extracurricular activities, Lindsey Wilson played a key role in shaping the kind of citizen, professional, husband, and father that I am today. Classroom experiences provided me with the critical thinking skills required to be a good professional. Extracurricular activities allowed me to meet other people and learn about other cultures. Those are just some of the skills you would agree with me are very important in today's global economy. There's almost an infinite number of people to thank for helping me make the kinds of contributions that the Hall of Fame Selection Committee recognized me for tonight. I'd like to name just a few for the sake of time. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Almighty God for His unmatchable grace and mercies for me over the years. He's proven to me over the years, time and time again, that He is the way, the truth, and the life, and that all things work together for the good of those who love Him. Next, I want to thank my parents for raising the 7 siblings and me that they had unselfishly. They are my role models. Neither of them completed high school, but that did not prevent them from spending most of their limited resources so we could have a better education than they did. 6 of their 8 children have college degrees as I speak to you tonight. Ben Tabara and Coach Bobby Gray, as you heard earlier, are next in line. Ben Tabara and I grew up playing soccer together back in Cameroon. We would watch high-level soccer games on TV and later on get on the soccer field and practice the skills, the coolest tricks that we would have seen on TV from the games. Ben later got a scholarship from the U.S. Naval Academy and recommended me to Coach Bobby Gray, who was coaching at the University of Mobile at the time. Coach Gray did not have the patience and resilience required to get me out of Cameroon, but he thankfully recommended me to Coach Wells as he transitioned to his job at Marshall University. My younger brother ended his college career playing for Coach Gray. Coach, father, advisor, mediator, chauffeur, yes, chauffeur, when the circumstances required. Those are just some of the many things, some of the many hats he would wear depending on the circumstances. He taught me some important social skills. I remember whenever we were on the road, Ray would gather us as soon as we got to our hotel room. I'm sure the current players would remember this. And among other things, he would say, remember, what is funny today may not be funny tomorrow. That was especially important for our group cohesiveness, since we had student athletes from different parts of the world. I was one of the student athletes that always stayed on campus during the holidays. Coach Wells would come by on campus and check on us. He and his wife Cindy would also have us over for meals. Today, they always invite me and my family to stay over at their house when they know we'll be in town. This time was no exception. Coach Wells taught me by example not to be complacent. A few days after winning a national title, when the average coach would be at some exotic location, it would not be uncommon for Coach Wells to be overseas recruiting or to be in his office at 4 a.m. in the morning making phone calls to potential recruits. I could go on, but I'd rather stop here and thank Coach Wells for all he's done for me over the years. Without your constant harassment of Coach Gray for my contact information, only God knows where I would be today. So I thank you very much, Coach. Willis Pooler is the next person I nicknamed the CPU for his incredible memory and critical thinking skills. Back in 1996, Willis was Coach Wells' assistant, and unlike the average coach, Willis did not give up when recruiting me proved to be challenging. By the time I got here on campus, he had called my parents' number so many times that he memorized it. He is, by the way, the most famous American in my family. Today, I cannot go a month without my mother asking me how Willis Pooler is doing. I'm almost sure my mother would name her baby Willis Pooler Djeukeng if she had another boy. Willis took over the women's soccer program shortly before I graduated in May of 2000. He immediately chose me to be his graduate assistant. Among other things, I learned from Willis his great sense sense of organization taught me more about the importance of order in life.